Greetings, fellow Marvel Legends collectors. Solid Dave Snake here, starting off on my reviews for the Spider-Man Marvel Legends Infinite series Build-A-Figure Rhino Wave. And what better figure out of this series to kick it all off with than our lone Spider-Man in the series, the Marvel Scarlett Spider. And this is not the first Scarlett Spider that we have gotten in the Marvel Legends. This is the third, but we have not got a hoodie version of the Scarlett Spider since the Toy Biz days. So we really needed an updated Scarlett Spider, so I'm really happy to get this, and it really delivers. It really captures Ben Reilly's Spider-Man from the Spider Clone storyline very accurately. Really looks like the comic book artwork brought into 3D form. And this action figure actually shares a lot of similarities with the previous waves Pizza Spider-Man, or just the regular Spider-Man. It uses a lot of the same parts except for the torso, which of course we have the hoodie sculpt on this one, and the head sculpt is different, and a couple other pieces on them, which we'll go over. But the rest of them is exactly the same, just colored different, but it works for this Spider-Man. It really does. And he comes with interchangeable hands as well, just like that previous Spider-Man. We get 2 wall-crawling hands, just like with the previous. And then we get 2 of the web-shooting hands. And they go on and off real easy on this Spider-Man. Pull off his left hand, and I'll put a grabbing one on there. You can see how easy it is to take off and plug in the new ones. Of course, as soon as I say that, I have a hard time pulling one out. And then we'll put in one of his web shooters. So his hands switch out very easily, and I was really happy when Hasbro started implementing these interchangeable hands and heads for a lot of characters. Really much needed, and just nice for that $20 price point to get some extra looks for your action figures. But let's take a look at this Spider-Man from head to toe, because they really did a great job. I love the big eyes on the head sculpt. Let me get him up close here. And give you a real up-close look. That really reminds me of that McFarlane-style eyes for Spider-Man. Which Todd McFarlane was my favorite artist in the Spider-Man comics. So I like that they brought that out, and his hoodie really turned out nice. I love how the spider came out on his chest, even with the articulation. When you take his torso back, the paint continues on there. A lot of times in the past, Hasbro has skimped out with details underneath that ab crunch. But after many of us reviewers complaining over and over, they have started correcting these problems. And even came out real nice in the back. They did the same thing with the spider on the back. So even when you utilize his ab crunch, you can see it. And his belt turned out great as well. You can see there's little notches within the hoodie for these little spaces on the belt to fit in there. And the actual cut there doesn't really hinder the belt. You can keep that belt moving with it, as you can see. So that was a nice touch. And his web shooting pieces turned out nice. Look exactly like how they do in the comic book. And he even has little pouches down around his ankles, which you could take these off if you wanted to. For customizers, if they would want to use these pouches, you could just pop these feet off and slide those right off. So really neat. And of course all the same muscle definition is in there. and the arms and legs that were in that Pizza Spider-Man. Same exact sculpt. Only just the standard red plastic there, which makes it extra easy for Hasbro, not having to paint anything extra on those parts. So, look-wise, he is great. Looks just like the Ben Reilly clone Spider-Man. And articulation-wise, he's great, just like all Spider-Man action figures. His head is on a ball joint and hinge, which will rotate 360 degrees. Look all the way down and real far back. His shoulders are on a ball joint and hinge, which will go up past 90 degrees, back down, rotate all the way around. Cut here at the bicep, which will rotate all the way around. Double hinged elbows, which will go very far up. And then the hinge and peg at the wrist, which will rotate 360 degrees, go that far up and that far back. So great articulation there. The ab crunch, as you saw, will go that far back and that far forward. And once again, I love how you can still see the design of the spider in there. Cut at the waist, which is nicely hidden if you keep that belt lined up. And if you rotate it too much, you will have to realign that belt. And he does this far of a split. We'll kick this far up and this far back. A cut up here at the upper thigh, which will rotate all the way around. Double jointed knees. And he does have the hinge and ankle pivot at the feet. Peg holes at the bottom. So, if you're in need of a Scarlett Spider, this is definitely the one to get. I would say this one is a lot better than Toy Biz's hooded Scarlett Spider. So, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the review, and let me know, which figure do you want to see reviewed next? We got Superior Venom, Misty Knight, Kraven, Ghost Rider, and Chameleon. I did not get the White Tiger, so let me know guys, and I will catch you in the next review.